Taking into account its delivery by involving NASA in 1977, Explorer 1 has been voyaging through space for a very long time and has eventually arrived near the very edge of our solar system. This has been extended expected. However, opposite to what researchers have persistently believed, the space test basically found something truly abrupt on the so-called edge of our solar device, leaving all in sunry with a larger number of inquiries than arrangements. What did Explorer 1 find be essential for us as we monitor Explorer 1's incredible find? Following 45 years in space during the interstellar road trip, the Explorer tests hit a significant achievement once they were given to the separated space called the heliopause, which is the limit keeping separated the solar impact from the large area of interstellar space. Now, bear in mind that the specific job of this limit had extended been a subject of conversation, but thanks to the projections of space expert Bill Gurney in 1993, it became imagined to lie among 116 and 177 cosmic contraptions. And every O is equivalent to the hole between the Earth and the Sun. Gurney's assessments were ended up being an element while Explorer 1 arrived at the heliopause around 20 years after the fact, identifying the normal vertical push in plasma density. Here's where the astonishing puzzle arose. Not enduring the development in not set in stone by Explorer 1, there was no sizable substitute in the encompassing attractive subject. Heading this was surprising due to the reality a change from an area wherein the attractive field began from the Sun to one in which it came from various stars must have prompted a significant shift, but no such element became seen. Researchers plausible thought Explorer 1 was the issue. However, Explorer 2 also conveyed some other layer of thrill ride to the riddle. While it arrived at the heliopause on the equivalent distance as its dual yet neglected to recognize any attractive subject adjustments. These surprising perceptions present difficulties to hypothetical models portraying the conduct of the heliosphere and how it cooperated with the interstellar environmental elements. The forecast that there has been a synchronization between the heliosphere and the sunlight-based 11-year cycle did never again line up with the records assembled by the Explorer tests. Moreover, the solar breeze, which vacillates with the sun cycle, changed into at its generally strong while Explorer 2 showed up at the heliopause, suggesting that the expected job of the limit should have been furthermore out than 120. But it's now not all sad, for the explanation that data accumulated by the Explorer tests has been instrumental in refining hypothetical models. Because of the Explorer revelation, researchers currently concur with that our Sun has moved from a warm ionized quarter to a somewhat ionized period of the universe, most likely initiated by means of nearby cosmic explosion. Those detonating verifiable stars warmed the encompassing spot and eliminated electrons from adjoining particles. The limit between these locales might be compared to a tempestuous oceanside, characterized via joined attractive fields and small-scale adjustments near the heliopause, while irrelevant varieties ascend on huge scopes. As what might happen to the Explorer tests, their ways isolated, with Explorer 1 heading towards the star grouping Ophiuchus, and Explorer 2 making its way to the star grouping Cetus. Simultaneously, some researchers anticipate that the tests would be able to have their main goal in 2030. They could possibly bear for many millennia, outliving our species. Maybe someday they may experience other hotshot frameworks, conveying with them the brilliant record, a time pill of mankind. However, ever the explorers neglected to just fly into external space on their own. They had been dispatched out with missions that had a parcel to do with the fate of humankind, investigating the profound profundities of the universe. After America lost the automated race to the moon towards the Soviet Association inside the 50s, the focal point of region investigation encountered a shift. The moon and region strength had been by the by observably engaging, so consideration became toward a more noteworthy, famous, and very much subsidized man application. Eventually, during that time, automated investigation became pushed to the authentic past to handle helping capability, with missions like Officer and Lunar Orbiter clearing the house for future Apollo missions. Yet, the idea of investigating different planets caught the imagination of many, coming in second-handiest to the delight encompassing the Apollo missions themselves. Accordingly, investigation programs normally inclined toward the ensuing step, investigating different planets. Thinking back, a few people commonly will quite often exaggerate the clinical meaning of automated applications in contrast with the political and innovative objectives of guidelights. They contend that the automated missions were all the more logically unadulterated in design and reason, minimizing the logical accomplishments of manned missions. However, the fact of the matter is the commitment of shooting photos of the planets became what totally charmed and touched off the passion of the American public. The prospect of seeing those astounding pics ignited the best advantage and excitement during the brilliant period of spaceflight. Magnetospheric material science and gravimetric examination are to be sure critical, and their significance can't be denied. However, it was the quest for planetary depictions that completely reverberated with individuals. The fantasy headed out to develop to be truth on September 5, 1977, when an unprecedented shuttle became sent off from Cape Waterway, Florida, which is prestigious for its settling up with rockets and space tests. This event denoted the start of a high-quality venture as Explorer 1. A space apparatus was sent off into region. Obviously, Explorer 1 wasn't released first because only 15 days sooner, its twin Explorer 2 had taken off on the indistinguishable Infinite experience. Their endeavor changed into to investigate Jupiter and Saturn, the fuel monsters of our solar system, along with their particular moons. What nobody thought was that these fearless pilgrims would be able to outperform their primer dreams and mission to the farthest corners of the divine skyline. The Explorer twins had been equipped with cutting-edge technology. Indeed, even by utilizing the prerequisites of their time, from their engines to their propellers and radio wires, everything turned out to be carefully intended for stability. NASA were given its idea from the Sailor shuttle anyway brought a few energizing changes. The achievements of those Explorer tests had been nothing concise of marvelous. Over 40 years in the past, their early perceptions of Jupiter and Saturn's moons left scientists amazed as they watched their assumptions about those far-off universes break right in front of them. In advance, it was thought that the abroad moons were forsaken and percent-stamped like our own special moon rooms. However, researchers behind schedule found them to be abounding with land hobby. Explorer 2 explicitly achieved a few outstanding achievements during its excursion. In 1986, it turned into the first rocket to skip through Uranus, and best 3 years after the fact, it done a flyby of Neptune. Journey 2 stands as the main space apparatus to have left on one of these courses to this current day. As those tough space apparatus protect their specific journey, NASA has executed measures to increment their operational life expectancies throughout recent years. Non-import parts and warmers have been deactivated to save power for the tests. It is an essential pass that ensures that the explorers would be able to keep working appropriately into the ensuing 10 years, and the normal task stop date is 2030. The outcome of the Explorer missions rouses self-contradicting feelings. For the researchers and designers who've performed urgent jobs in this sublime experience since its origin, their steadfast resolve and vigorous endeavors have conveyed the undertaking a long ways past its underlying assumptions. The insights communicated through the explorers have yielded important bits of knowledge, moving boundless logical disclosures, and energizing the minds of specialists and space aficionados all through ages. It's to see that Explorer 1 and Explorer 2 were presently not your normal space apparatus. They were carefully intended to be strong frameworks. Their turn rate is in excess of multiple times more slow than the hour hand of a clock. This arranged design decision limited any obscuring of pictures also, records on the grounds that the space apparatus zoomed through space. Scientists and most individuals never failed to be amazed by their astounding imaging abilities. Even before their experiences with the outer planets, the space apparatus began radiating back photos of Jupiter while still various months far away from the planet. These early depictions, displaying the twirling mists and the notable unprecedented red spot, acquainted sheer fulfillment with the individuals at NASA's Fly Impetus Research Center. But it was the disclosure of vivacious volcanoes on Jupiter's moon Io that captured everyone's attention. It's somewhat greater than Earth's moon. However, the remarkable component is that it worked out that there's no volcanic body in the total sun-powered device as vivacious as that moon. The shuttle distinguished a few odd signs radiating from Io, and the sparkly depictions they caught showed the discoveries. Those depictions uncovered transcending volcanic crest and a surface set apart by utilizing the discharge of volcanic material. One of Io's noticeable volcanoes, Pell, has even ejected 30 cases better than Mount Everest, covering a region almost as extensive as France. In total, the Explorer rocket snapped over 33,000 pics of Jupiter and its moons, revealing the planet's wonderful magnificence and the marvelous scope of the Jovian moonscapes. Before we jump into the most recent stunning revelation, Alice present now not disregard that the twin explorers have been uncovering stunning discoveries in light of the fact that their discharge. One of the most extreme fantastic disclosures transformed into the ways of life of Jupiter's gems, which, despite the fact that faint, added an additional layer of interest to the fuel enormous. Additionally, Explorer 2 revealed the cold shell of Europa, one of Jupiter's 53 moons, believed to be north of 60 miles thick. These discoveries challenged our former presumptions roughly these far-off heavenly bodies and ignited further examinations concerning the limit livability of frigid moons. As the explorers bid goodbye to Jupiter, they got a gravity help that gave them a significant work on propelling them in the direction of Saturn. Without this clever push, they could never have gotten away the sun's gravitational force and wandered further into space. Explorer 1 and Voyager 2 then went their different techniques, each traveling toward the path of new boondocks. Explorer 1 sent off into a direction that additional it near Saturn's moon Titan, surrounded in an orange dim climate. The secrets surrounding this moon aroused the leisure activity of researchers, leading to additional examinations on its complicated science. Explorer 1 then, at that point, went toward the north, withdrawing from the plane of the planets, and started its epic venture beyond the limitations of our solar system. In the meantime, Explorer 2 sent off into a sequence of thrilling undertakings that took it to the outermost planets of our grandiose area. In 1986, it made history with a flyby of Uranus in which it coincidentally found 10 previously unknown moons, expanding the planet's moon count number. 3 years after the fact, Explorer 2 spans Neptune, revealing the main rate capabilities of this far-off ice massive. During its happened upon with Neptune, Explorer 2 recorded breeze rates of up to 1,000 miles per hour, making it the speediest breeze not set in stone on a planet inside our sun-based device. As the space apparatus zoomed inside 280 m of Neptune's sky-blue methane ecosystem, it provided exceptional insights into this distant global. Neptune's largest moon Triton ended up being one of the chilliest spots in our solar gadget. The disclosures made by the Explorer tests have revolutionized how we might interpret the outer planets and their moons, opening up new roads for investigation and starting energy for future missions.